You already know that finding clarity is the key to moving forward in life and career. Today's guest will share how to refine everything you already know into something extraordinary. Hi, and welcome to the You World Order Showcase podcast, where we feature life health transformational coaches and spiritual entrepreneurs stepping up to be the change they seek in the world. I'm your host, Jill Hart, the Coach's Alchemist, on a mission to help coaches and entrepreneurs amplify their voice, monetize their mission, and get visible, leveraging podcasts and the huge audience over on the Gnostic TV network. Today, we are chatting with Jenny Cotten. Jenny is a certified life and success coach, educator, and passionate human design practitioner. Driven by a love of teaching and a commitment to personal growth, she founded Mind Body Lab or Design Lab to empower others through the transformative power of human design. Jenny's holistic approach blends practical strategies with personalized coaching, guiding individuals to align with their unique design and confidently navigate life's challenges and opportunities. Welcome to the show, Jenny.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm happy to have you here. So, I'm going to ask you the big question. Are you ready?
I think so.
Okay. I like to check first with my guest, you know. So, what's the most significant thing, in your opinion, as individuals we can do to make an impact on how the world is going?
Well, I'm going to be biased. Obviously, as a human design coach, I'm going to say human design. It has the power to transform each person individually so that they can go out into the world their best self to contribute and not just be a good person, but really bring people together as a collective for the greater good. So I'm biased in that way, I guess.
I think it's a perfectly great explanation. And that brings us to human design. What is it and how does it help people?
Yeah, so think about when I think about human design, I often so people are really familiar with like the Enneagram. Remember like I'm going to date myself for a second. So back in the 90s, right? When
Mhm.
we had the Myers-Briggs and the Enneagram and all the things and people were taking personality tests and trying to figure out who they were.
Mhm.
So human design, I like to think of it as that times infinity because instead of someone answering a personal question based on how they feel that day, human design is based on when you were born, the exact moment of your birth. And so you think about it as the stars aligned and the perfect you was born, that's exactly what human design is. It's rather than an outer picture, it's an inner picture of your character, of your conscious and your subconscious, and really tells a story of who you are and who you're meant to be, your potential in life. And so I love it. I love it.
I often think of it as a note that we write to ourselves from beyond before we get here.
Mm.
And if we happen to discover where the note was stored, human design is that note for you
It
that
is.
you
It
left
is.
for yourself.
Yeah. It's truly amazing, and shows people, where what their potential really is. And I think a lot of people, especially in today's world of a lot of noise, right? It was just a really noisy world that we live in, and it's easy to get distracted, or think that we need to do certain things or be like certain people. But human design is about who you are. And who you're meant to be. So when you get in touch with that, and it does take time. I'm not gonna pretend it's just a report you get and you're done. It is a process, but it's well worth it.
It really is. I've done my own reports, and they're just so comprehensive. It's kind of like astrology on steroids. Um,
Yes.
they you just get so much information about so many facets of your life, and some of them are going to be like, oh yeah, I already knew that, but others are going to be like, oh, if I just did it this way, my life would be so much easier, instead of just continuing to push and push and push in the direction that you're going and wondering why you're not making any progress. It's because you're pushing on the wall.
And that's exactly how I came into human design. I am a generator, which is one of the types in human design, and For generators, we're supposed to respond to life, and I was not doing that. I was trying to initiate everything and just, like you said, push and make things happen. And so I wasn't doing it. I wasn't living my strategy, as we say in human design. And so that it was really powerful for me to discover that.
And it's empowering. I'm a manifester, so I'm always trying to like get stuff going and encourage people to like, come on, let's go, let's go, let's go, get it done, get it done, get it done. That's just who I am. And I used to feel bad about it because like not everybody's the same and not everybody is here to do the same sort of things, but recognizing that, that's your strength, meaning me, and other people have other strengths and we're not all the same and we don't all need to be treated the same. And being able to relax into allowing people to be who they are naturally and holding space for them while still encouraging them to produce
Mhm.
um in the way that works for them rather than you know there's one way or the highway, which is that's kind of how we were all raised. It's like there's only one right way to do stuff. Well, the only one right way only works in math, and even there when you start getting into bigger math, I think there's differences there too.
I
It's
was going to
not.
say my background is elementary education.
Mhm.
So, it's all about differentiation and education and the new math. And there's not one way to do things, there's lots of ways. And when I think about human design and I think about the world, it's like a huge puzzle. And like you were saying, everybody has a different piece. They have a different fractal line that they are here to interact with, to have
Mhm.
influence on. Everyone has a purpose. And when you don't realize your purpose and bring it into the world, you're really being selfish because you're here to do a very important job. So it's we need to do that. We need to figure these things out and go out into the world and be who authentically ourselves.
I look at life as a big tapestry, and we're each a
Hmm.
thread in the
Yeah.
tapestry. And when we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, that thread is just so vibrant and it really blends well with all of the other threads. But when we're not, it's just like this white. It
Hmm.
it's there, but it's bleh.
Not contributing to the beautiful picture.
Yeah, it's not contributing to the beautiful picture that it's really here to do.
Hmm.
So, yeah. And everybody's got something special.
They do. They really do. I mean, when I first discovered human design and pulled my chart and started learning about myself, then immediately I wanted to pull my husband and then my children and my mom and my dad, right? And
Yeah,
then it becomes the more you learn, you meet people and you go, I wonder what they are. I wonder if they
right.
have an open blah blah center.
uh, and I think there's only like five, 3 or 5 different overall overarching archetypes. Is it 3 or is
It's
it
the
5?
types. So
Uh-huh.
there's four main types.
Okay,
There's
right in the
manifestors,
middle.
generators, projectors, and reflectors. But generators are really split into two flavors,
Uh-huh.
generators and manifesting generators. But they make up 70% of the population.
Mhm.
So that's what most people are.
But we, even though 70% of the population are manifestors,
Or
we each
generators.
are generators. We each have differences. It's not like,
Oh, absolutely. That
and
is the
those
tip of
differences
the
are so
iceberg.
so important.
Yes.
You're talking about open sections in different parts of the human design chart. It's just like there's a lot of parts to the human design chart.
Yes, there are 9 centers. There's 64 gates, which are basically like your superpowers.
Mhm.
And so when they're defined, that's the energy that you bring defined into the world to share with other people. And so, yeah, there's a lot to it for sure. But
When you look
it's,
at astrology, it's only like 12 houses. And in this, you're talking about 64 gates. I mean, that's a
yeah,
lot. And
yeah.
combinations. And then you
Yep, and
start
it's like
getting
the
into
channels.
exponential numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So. So you're not the same as everybody else.
Absolutely not.
Even,
Absolutely not.
which is why it's really important to contact somebody like Jenny and have her help you with your chart. I know she has a way for you to pull your chart, but I promise you, when you look at it, you're going to be like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Hey all, I'm Jill Hart. We all know that legal matters can be costly and stressful. Finding the right representation and dealing with high retainers and hourly bills adds up fast. But what if I told you there was a way to have legal insurance, just like your health or auto insurance? Well, Legal Shield has leveled that playing field. From just $29.95 a month, you get access to lawyers for personal legal matters, from traffic tickets to real estate issues or even trust matters. Help is just a tap away on your phone. Call or text 435-764-0875 and use the code JILLLEGAL or start your journey to legal protection today.
It's when you first look at it, you're gonna see, this beautiful body graph is what it's called, and then there's two sides. There's the conscious and the unconscious, but they look like decimals. And so people who are not math people immediately they go into that, oh my goodness, I don't know what all this means. But yes, absolutely. I try to teach it in the most practical way possible. If I am a 5'1", that's my profile line. So I am the practical authority. So it's perfect for me to teach people that are new to human design because I teach it the most practical way possible to help them integrate it into their life.
And you don't have to have it like you read your chart and then tomorrow you're going to
Oh,
start this whole list of things that have to happen. It's
yeah.
not like that.
No, and that's not practical, right? It's really about learning. I like to start with the easiest, which is the type. And when you
Mhm.
learn about your type, and for some people, that is life changing, especially projectors, right? So when they learn that they're a projector, and they're not like 70% of the population, it's life changing. So starting with that, and then we start to dive into some little bit deeper things and start to layer it.
And it does layer on top of one piece on top of the other on top of the other, and then it when I was talking about empowering people to live their best lives, it you grow into it,
Mm-hmm.
and it feels comfortable. It's like putting on a pair of shoes that fits you really well, and the more you wear them, the better they feel. It's just like
Absolutely.
home.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I mean, we didn't even talk about the incarnation cross and your soul purpose. And I mean, that's a whole different conversation, but it's super empowering to see how it all fits together. And it's amazing when people start to see like what they're doing is what they're here to do. And then sometimes they're like, oh, that's why I'm frustrated because, I need to pivot. Hmm.
And it's super helpful when you,
Oh,
especially if you're
yeah.
coming running into roadblocks and you're feeling like, I feel like I should be doing this, but I'm not happy. And
Hmm.
it, and maybe you're just off a little bit. It doesn't even have to be a lot. And I know there's a whole bunch of people in the world that were raised to, you go to school, you get your degree, and you follow this career path because your
Me.
parents said so.
Hmm.
No thought about who you are and your personality and what lights you up in the world and what your superpowers are. Because people
Hmm.
don't, they're just not exposed to it. We don't expose
They're
kids to
not.
it.
But think of the power of people learning that now, like even as an adult, and
Mhm,
then helping their children grow into who they truly are and who they're supposed to be, their potential. I mean, that is life changing, not only for that child, but for the world.
mhm.
Hmm.
That's where you get your inventors and your artists and all the people that, we might think we don't need, but really we do need them.
Oh,
We need
we need them all.
we need
Yeah.
everybody, and we need everybody doing the thing that they're here to do. We came here with a purpose. But if
Yeah.
you're stuck in the box and you don't see any way out, then you're miserable, you're anxious, you're crabby and
Yeah, and
you're
then you
not.
start to have issues with your children and your spouse and your mother, and like it's a domino effect. Then you start having health problems. Well, that's your body trying to alert you that you're not living in alignment.
Mhm.
That's a wake-up call.
It is a wake-up call, and it's really, some of these things are so simple to solve that the thing is you have to know that they exist. The help is out there, and my hat's off to you, Jenny. We need you.
Well, it just happens to be my incarnation cross, my soul purpose to help educate people and get them in touch with their spirituality. And, that means going inward, right? And finding out who they are so that they can get in touch um, with what they're supposed to bring to the world and their special gifts.
I think it's so interesting when we start turning inward and we know who we are and what our purpose is. It's really easier for us to address the people around us differently.
Hmm.
And like, as I was sharing before, I I grew up being told I was a bossy person. And then as an adult, my husband came to me and said, one time, "You're not bossy, you're just overly helpful," which was, it was hugely helpful in the way I perceived myself. Because, if you're going to call me bossy, I'm going to be bossy. I'll just tell you what to do. I'm not going to
Yeah.
ask your permission for it. But when you're helping somebody, it's a little bit softer. It's like, do you
Hmm.
want help? And if you don't want help, I had to learn to be good with that. Some people are on their journey and they're just going to do whatever experience they're here to experience. And no amount of me trying to save them from themselves is going to help them.
Hmm.
But there are plenty of people that do want help, but they don't know where to go to get it. And
Yes.
so, I understanding where you are and understanding how to share what your message is and what your passion is and what your purpose is with others in a way that allows space for them to interact with you in the way that's comfortable for them. It's life changing as
It
far as
is
what I can.
life changing. And even thinking about human design in business, I mean,
Mhm.
that's a whole nother area to explore of how you are supposed to, speak your message into the world and who your ideal audience is. And all of that is tied into human design as well. So, there's just so much to explore there that's why it's not a one and done. It's a journey.
So when you work with people, do you have like a program? Do you have one-on-one coaching? Is it a group? Is how does all that look?
Yeah, so I work with people one on one. If that's, some people are more comfortable with that. We talk about differentiation, right? So some people prefer that. And then also have a group program where we work on learning. Well, they learn their human design, right? I'm just the mentor, I'm the guide
Mhm.
on this journey so that they can learn their human design and then help them like implement it in their life in a way that makes sense for them, that's going to improve their life. So whether that be like relationships or career, some people, that's their real pain point is they're like, oh, I feel stuck in a career. That was me. And then other people, it's I want to start a business but I don't know what my niche is. I don't, and so everybody has those different frustration areas. And so it's very differentiated and tailored for what they need and what they want in their life.
So how do people get in touch with you, and what would you say is like the place for people to start?
The best place to start is the website, mindbodydesignlab.com. You can get, free chart, free report with just, some basic things so you don't feel overwhelmed by it all. But it's a good introduction to what those symbols and numbers mean. And then from there, the best thing to do is just schedule a free call with me. I do a free clarity call. It's typically about 30 minutes. And we talk about what areas of your life you're really feeling that frustration and how human design can help you.
Awesome. And that website again is
Hmm.
mindbodydesignlab.com, right?
Yes, yes.
Thank you so much for joining me, Jenny. This has been
Thank
a
you.
great conversation.
I could talk about human design all day. I love it.
It is really a helpful tool for anybody just wondering what are you here for? And
It is, and I will say, since I found human design, it has completely just transformed my life. I am in a different, career. Um, I've manifested money. I have better relationships with everyone around me. I'm a happier person. My health is better, um, and it all just came from getting to know myself.
reading that letter from beyond.
That's right. That's right. Get in line, sister. It's time to do this thing.
For sure, for sure. Thanks for joining us today. And to learn more about Jenny and human design, please visit, and to get your free human design chart, please visit mindbodydesignlab.com, and we'll put that link in the show notes. And thank you for tuning in with us today. If you have a podcast or are interested in starting one to get your message in front of our huge and active audience, be sure to reach out to us at jill@gnostictv.com. We love to help spiritual entrepreneurs and coaches amplify their voice and monetize their mission, and offer a variety of ways to do this on the Gnostic TV network platform. Join us for our next episode as we share what others are doing to raise the global frequency. And remember, change begins with you. You have all the power to change the world. Start today and get visible.